M1 Abrams. Ed service in 1980. A fast, heavily armored tank with the very latest technologies to give it every advantage on the battlefield. First seen action in Operation Desert Storm. The plain arid camouflage tank gained a reputation quickly in the barren deserts of Saudi Arabia. Powered by a high-speed turbine engine, the M1 raced across this differ to liberate Kuwait from Iraqi occupation. Designed 120mm smoothbore cannon had longer range, more accurate fire and more advanced ammunition. It easily dispatched the lower-tech Soviet supply tanks of the Iraqi army. Sometime this year it's expected that the US will deliver a battalion of 31 M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine. It's off against the Soviet tanks it was designed. The Ukrainian army will need training to maintain and operate these new tanks because they are like no other tank. And although this tank is over 40 years old, it's still more than capable of holding its own on the battlefield thanks to continual modernization and forward-thinking design. This is the insane engineering. Abrams. The M1A. Engine startup sounds more like the aircraft getting ready to take off. A tear. Increasing pitch as the engine revs up to speed. Whirring sound emanating from the rotating turbine blades hidden in. The turbine engine typically used for jet aircraft is an engine designed for high-speed operation with minimal waste. A counterintuitive choice for a heavy battle tank. So why was it chosen? Virgin would give the M12 huge advantages. They are much lighter than an equivalent diesel engine, weighing just 1.1 tons and developing 1,500 brake horsepower. The V12 diesel engine of the Challenger 2 produces 1,200 brake horsepower with 2 tons of metal. This compactness to weight ratio allows the M1 to stack on layers of armor without sacrificing acceleration or top speed. We can plot. It primarily uses diesel fuel, as diesel can act as an additional layer of armor. Liquids are extremely good at absorbing energy from explosions and kinetic energy weapons. They are most effective against shaped charges, and tanks carry a lot of liquid in the form of fuel. It may seem counterintuitive to use fuel, but diesel fuel is not very flammable. In fact, if you throw a lit match into a puddle of diesel, it will put the match out. The turbine engine can also operate on most fuel types. This is a huge advantage in military logistics, making joint operations with NATO vastly easier. In the years following World War II, the Soviets favored diesel compression ignition engines, mixture of both gasoline spark ignition and diesel compression ignition. Transporting fuel is one of the largest logistic challenges in war. Needing several types of fuel makes it all the more difficult. Can run on marine diesel, gasoline, or even kerosene if needed, which not only makes it easier to procure fuel in a war zone, but comes with the added bonus of helping the M1 operate in hot or cold weather, dealing with the wild swings in temperature that Ukraine can expect throughout the year with ease, where diesel fuels can crystallize. Kerosene can be used instead. 1976. United States Secretary of the Army Martin Hoffman and a group of generals visited Deputy Defense Secretary Bill Clements and Director of Defense Research and Engineering Malcolm Curry on their decision. They were surprised when Clements and Curry criticized their decision and demanded the turbine be selected. Donald Rumsfeld heard arguments from both in the afternoon. The Army team spent the night writing briefs and presented them to Rumsfeld the next morning, who then announced a 4-month delay. Within days, GM was asked to present a new design with a turbine engine. According to Assistant Secretary for Research and Development Ed Miller, it became increasingly clear that the only solution which would be acceptable to Clements and Curry was the turbine. It was a political decision that was reached. And for all intents and purposes, that decision gave the award to Chrysler since they were the only contractor with a gas turbine.